Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is about 3 o'clock on this Wednesday, and the radar a bit more active here this afternoon than it has been the past couple of days. Still very isolated across central and southern Alabama, but up near the shoals, north of the Tennessee River, we got some pretty decent coverage of rain and thunderstorms, and even one severe thunderstorm warning. We'll get to that in just a second. A look at the total lightning strikes here within this frame. You'll notice they're increasing here, and that's pretty normal. We get into the middle of the afternoon. Thunderstorms tend to reach their peak intensity, the hottest part of the day, and so we'll see more of that here over the next couple of hours. But right now, most of the rain is confined to along I-22 and north and along I-65 and west. Everything is gradually moving off to the east, northeast, and should be headed towards that I-65 stretch that you'll notice a pretty big void in convection from Tuscaloosa down south of Demopolis. So we'll see if more develops. Here's a look at the severe thunderstorm warning that includes Florence. This is Colbert County and Franklin County for this line coming out of Mississippi for gusty winds. And again, just a little bit after 3 o'clock here. Most will stay below severe limits. Also, this cell that's coming out of Lawrence County is headed towards Hartselle, in between Hartselle and Decatur. A lot of lightning associated with that one. So if you're up near the Tennessee River, just south, got a pretty loud boomer coming through here. What about to the south? Well, as you head south into Shelby County, one little thunderstorm in Alabaster, and then you get down just north of Prattville, Millbrook, another couple more pop-ups just outside of Montgomery. So more in the way of those summertime thunderstorms this afternoon. You can see the difference it makes where we've had the rain cooled air, low 80s in Huntsville and Hamilton, 90 at Birmingham, 88 in Tuscaloosa, 94 in Andalusia, 93 in Dothan, some of the warmer spots on the map. So let's take a look at the upper level pattern here. This is Thursday. And as we look ahead to late week, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. You can see this little shortwave here. You see where the jet stream dips down? It's about as far south as it reaches this time of year. We still have that ridge across the Four Corners region beginning to retrograde back out over the Baja Peninsula. But you're going to notice something here. Look for that clockwise spin in the atmosphere. That is an upper high. And that's typically a sign of warmer temperatures and at times less convection. I do think our rain coverage goes down by Sunday into Monday. That will lead to our afternoon highs being a little bit warmer. We've been in the upper 80s, low 90s. We're low to mid 90s for much of Alabama early on next week. And you'll see the presence of this ridge will keep this little weak troughing here over the Ohio Valley and north of us in the southeast. Let's go to our futurecast here for the rest of this evening. Again, I think this model might be underdoing the coverage. It's not picking up, it's not initializing super well with what's out there right now, but I do think most convection fizzles by about 10 o'clock tonight. And then this run of the HRRR is showing a cluster of thunderstorms. I'll have to see if other models pick up on that. This is 7 o'clock. Again, there may be some sort of boundary left over there. In general, as we look ahead to the forecast Thursday, our best coverage will be in the afternoon and fairly widespread across the state. So if you're looking for better rain coverage, hoping the yard can get watered naturally, Thursday and Friday are going to be your best bets. So this is Thursday's rain coverage here, coming off the NDFD, and you can see most areas in that 40 to 70 range. We'll call it 60 for much of the state. A few bullseyes of higher rain chances in East Alabama. But again, these are fairly isolated, and they'll meander across the state. Friday, pretty good coverage down in the Wiregrass, Dothan, all the way over to Mobile, Daphne, Fairhope, Monroeville, Andalusia, Luverne, Greenville, and then lesser rain chances. With setups like this, if you see a lot of convection south of Montgomery, that sometimes will cut off energy and moisture availability to the north. So we'll have to see. If we see a good batch of thunderstorms in the southern half of the state, that could cut off our rain coverage to some extent in the northern half of Alabama on Friday. We go now into Saturday, and you see those lighter colors there depicting lower rain coverage, lower rain chances Saturday and Sunday. So with that, high temperatures will be a bit cooler the next couple of days. Thursday and Friday, I expect both days to have a lot of 80s on the map. A few spots get to the low 90s with later arrival of the rain, or no rain at all. but it's a bit of a warming trend heading into next week. It doesn't last. The model or the outlook through mid to late July actually has very near average temperatures for us. I think in the short term, early next week, we might spike just a touch above that with highs anywhere from 91 to 95. Really Monday, Tuesday, and even into Wednesday. But nothing too out of the ordinary here with respect to our temperature trends. Tropics remain very quiet. Big area of convection and a weak low over the Caribbean. Not expected to amount into anything, but as always, expect the unexpected with the tropics. The NHC has nothing on its radar over the next 7 days. Always a good sign, especially if you're headed to the beach. We will see at times a moderate risk of rip currents. The overall going forecast, though, has a low risk of rip currents. Always check those flags. We'll have daily partly cloudy skies. Best rain chances will be on Friday, and that will hug the I-10 corridor all the way up to Montgomery. And some of these will be pretty close to the beach as well. Something cool this week. I always find this stuff interesting. We have the full buck moon. So, talk about what this means. So Earth's orbit is elliptical, meaning it's not a perfect circle around the sun. There's a period where we're a little bit further away from the sun in our orbit and a little bit closer. Oddly enough, aphelion, which is when we're furthest, occurred on July 3rd. So if if Earth is at its furthest point this time of year, July 3rd, but we're still in that window, that means the moon is as well. Again, that's called aphelion. And this also means the moon is at its furthest point. This will be the most distant full moon from the sun of the year. And in the horizon, it'll be the second lowest that we have after the strawberry moon, which was in June. This gets its name from having a lot of activity with bucks, their antlers growing out. Native Americans noticed that. And also thunder, of course, that speaks for itself, especially across the southern United States. Thunderstorms common almost every day. It'll rise sometime after 8 o'clock, look off to the east-southeast, and it will appear larger at first because of the effect of the lower atmosphere, and Rayleigh scattering will give it an orange hue as well. So we'll go back one more time. I'll look at radar, and again, the northwestern part of the state continues to be the most active. This is headed towards Florence and Russellville. We'll check on that warning one more time. This is once again for, hold on here. They may have canceled that warning. Let's see. Nope, still there. So this will be for Colbert, Franklin, and Lawrence counties till a little after 4. There's another pretty good thunderstorm coming into Hartselle. This stretch from Hartselle to Decatur up to the Tennessee River, pretty busy. So we'll have another update on the radar, the forecast here coming up on our newscast this evening. Hopefully you guys are